A third lockdown, hey? What better way to spend it than reminiscing about the past? Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be chatting with friends and family that have all come together to make Oxidion Theatre. In this exclusive, we'll be telling our highlights and behind-the-scenes goss, as well as many personal and hilarious stories from our past. So, come with me as we delve into our history and discover Oxidion's origins. This podcast is sponsored by Waghorn Security Systems and has been directed and produced by the dazzlingly talented Maddie Goode. Of course, starring me, your host, Jude Peters.
Hello everyone, happy Sunday. I hope you're well. We're just going to have a nice chilled and relaxed podcast today, as it is the end of the week. It is a Sunday, but we've got more for you coming next week. So let's meet who I'm talking to today. Hello Lucy. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and just tell everyone what your role is at Oxidion.
Hi, I'm Lucy and I do a lot of acting and dancing and performing.
So just in case it doesn't quite spring to mind who you are for some people, could you just tell us what people might recognise you in?
So I've played Elsa in Frozen for our Christmas pantomime last year, which was really, really fun. I've also taken part in Oxidion's competitions as well.
Yeah, that was quite recently that you were in the competition.
I did enjoy doing that talent show because I'm not a singer. I've never claimed to be a singer. I think I'm god awful at singing. However, somehow you always persuade me.
It doesn't take much.
I just can't say no to you. Aside from the singing, because obviously I'm first and foremost, I'm a dancer. I've always danced since I was 2 years old. So it was really, really nice to be able to do that again and perform something that I am really passionate about, which was dancing. So yeah, that was really good. That was really good for me. And watching it back when you made the video, and it was nice to think, oh, I might be old now, but I can still do the splits and I can still do this and that, which was nice.
Now it's you that's going to play Dorothy in our upcoming Wizard of Oz show alongside Ruby.
Yes, my dog Ruby, who plays Toto.
Yeah. So a bit of a bizarre question, because you will obviously remember me way before I would even be able to recognise who you were. But do you remember the first time you met me?
I remember you when you were in your dad's arms and your head would fit in his hand and your legs would sit just by his elbow. And that is how small you was.
Do you have any random bizarre memories of us when we were growing up?
My favourite was probably Shane's birthday parties. And me and CJ dressed up as clowns and was ordered by Emma to do a clown performance for everybody.
I remember that, actually. I don't know if you was ever told, but a month or so after that, Shane came round to my house and my mum wasn't at home. It was just my dad looking after us, but he stayed downstairs and me and Shane went up into my mum's drawers where she had all the nail polish. And we absolutely covered ourselves in the nail polish because we got the idea of doing what you and CJ did. And me and Shane got told off for that. So I think we both blame you for that. Another thing I remember is coming over and helping out with the stables.
You did actually. And then it used to wind you up because I used to sweep the straw out of the stable, and it used to really wind you up and bug you because it would go on the floor and you'd be like, no, just sweep it to the corner.
I remember when Shane was down one time, I don't know what we were doing, but we hid behind the car and jumped out at Shane, and one of the most delayed reactions I've ever seen in my life. And then he screamed and jumped back. Can you remember the first time you heard about my cabin, or even the first time you saw it?
Yeah, I remember it being built. I remember it being a surprise at first. You didn't know. You knew you wanted it, but yeah, I don't think you knew when it was being built.
Yeah,
so,
well, I've said this about a million times in all of the other podcasts. It was the plan that I was going to build it with my dad, and then it was a complete surprise when I walked in the garden one day, and that it was all built, because obviously we got a log cabin instead. Did my dad? Did he ever tell you at any point that was on its way?
Yeah. So I knew about it, and I was watching it being built.
And then you stole the idea and decided to get your own one.
Yeah. Yeah, you could put it like that.
What has been your favourite event, whether you've been in it or whether you've watched it?
I loved performing Frozen.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Any sneaky behind the scenes from your point of view? Because with that show, I think we all had a very different experience, because it was over a week and we all sort of did it separately, really, and then just brought it together at the end of the week. So what was your experience of that?
With Frozen, I was in the middle of my master's degree and had so many assignments, but it was just a really good escape, like just something else to focus on. It's just so much fun. It's a lot of fun. They're just something different to do. And I also get to, whenever Jude says, oh, we're performing something today, or we're recording something today, or we've got a photo shoot today, I'm like, brilliant. I can dress up and put a load of makeup on, which is just fantastic. Yeah, I get a lot. You give me a lot of them, don't you? Just need to do this quick. And like that time when we were recording the poll, and it was in the middle of, what was it? End of November, beginning of December?
It was the beginning of December. I think it was about the 3rd of December, I think it was.
Freezing cold, and I was outside in a dress, and it was we were out there for a good hour. Yeah. I just remember not being able to feel my feet anymore because it was that cold.
Now, unfortunately, Lucy's very busy with work. I've been busy with school, so she's not here to do the advert with me today. So there's no funky story to get us into trying to sell you some CCTV. So just buy it. Go on, just buy it. You need CCTV. If you get robbed, that's your own problem. If you get robbed and you've got CCTV, well, it's all sorted. And not just CCTV, may I point out. They sell alarms, home security systems, basically just anything to get those blimmin' robbers. So buy it. Buy now.
If you want good CCTV, contact 07500 090 359 or email waghornalarms@gmail.com. Waghorn Security Systems, providing you with the latest and greatest.
I remember in Frozen, I mean, it's my fault entirely, but I forgot to get you and Robin to rehearse one of the songs.
Yes.
So we got James to hold up the laptop with the karaoke on, but wasn't my dad standing in the way or something?
Yeah, it was the one right at the end where Anna comes and tells Elsa that Arundel's in deep snow, basically. And we just had no idea what we were singing or saying, or it was great. It was just, could not see the script or anything. It was just brilliant.
There was a small bit in one of Robin's songs, or Anna's songs, where Elsa comes out and just sings a really small section of it. But I had forgotten to tell you, it was so rushed. It was such a rushed show. But yeah, I'd forgotten to tell you. And so I was whispering the words to you through the curtain. Yeah. You've probably been at my cabin the most out of anybody, because you used to come over quite a bit to watch films and stuff.
Yeah, movie nights, cinema nights before lockdown ruined everything. I mean, obviously the snacks and the slush puppies, they are just, and the fish and chips order.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was such a nightmare order. I think there were 13 or 14, including me and James.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. Yeah, because we had neighbours round.
Yeah, and going and ordering like 14 portions of fish and chips, it was the biggest nightmare ever. Especially, I did it on the phone because it was absolutely chucking it down that day. I did it on the phone, sat outside, So trying to go through this list, and he was trying to read it back, and I was like, no. And it was just got so confusing. But we could do it again, but it's now up to Maddie. Maddie's in charge of our food now.
Right, Maddie,
So-
let's get our orders into Mads.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lucy, for squeezing in the time to talk to me today. And thank you, everyone, for listening in at home. So have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Have yourself a lovely rest of your week, a lovely rest of your lockdown, a lovely rest of however long it is until I next see you again. And yeah, goodbye.
As I said a second ago, thank you very much for listening today. Join me on Wednesday when I talk to James. And please like and subscribe for more content, and maybe even take a look at our Instagram page.